Today, I want to welcome all of those who are here for the first time in the sanctuary online. Thank you for spending time of your morning with us. We are very, very blessed. This wonderful community, it's just a blessing. It is a blessing for each one who is participating here, and I know it's a blessing for the world. And today we are going to talk about this wonderful folk tale called the stone soup. And I was wondering how many have ever heard about the stone soup? Oh, okay. And online? Oh, yeah, just about the same, about 40%, yeah. So stone soup is a folk tale that originated in the 1500s in Europe. And in 1947, which is 77 years ago, Marcia Brown wrote a book, a famous children's book, and I am so excited to speak about stone soup, this idea today, and I want to share with everybody that our children in the youth and family ministry are reading the same book right now. Isn't that cool? So, yes, for all of the parents who are here in the room, I just think it's wonderful to have something to talk about. So stone soup. 3 travelers were traveling, and they had been walking the whole day, and they haven't had any food. And they got hungry. And they come around the corner, and they see in the distance a village. And they get very excited, because they figure, oh, there's going to be folks who are going to share a meal with us. Maybe we even get a nice place to sleep tonight. And so their step picked up a little bit. Now in the village, people saw the 3 travelers coming. And they thought, oh, they will want to have some of our food. And so we are going to go ahead and hide it. So they took their cabbages, and they put it under the old quilt, and their carrots, and they lowered the milk into the well, it says. What a great picture, right? To lower the milk into the well. So they prepared. The 3 travelers arrived. They knock on the door of the first house. It is answered. They asked if they could share some food with them, and they said, oh, harvest has not been good. It just wasn't good. And so, unfortunately, we have nothing to give. And they said, thank you, and they moved on to the next house, and they knocked, and they said, would you be able to share some food with us? And they said, no, sorry, there's a grandfather we're taking care of, and many, many mouths to feed, and so we just don't have anything to give. All right. They went to the 3rd house, same story. So then they talked amongst themselves, and they said, clearly, this is not working. And one of the travelers said, let's bring out the stone soup. And so they went to the marketplace and built a fire. And one of the village people came by and said, what are you doing? And they said, we are going to prepare a wonderful stone soup. All we need is a big pot. And one of the travelers said, we have a big pot. I will go and get it. Subtle cue right there, yes? Okay, the villagers were very excited to get the pot. And so they bring this pot, and then the traveler said, oh, you know what else we need? We need water. And so there were some kids around, and they sent the kids over to the stream to get some fresh mountain water. And they brought the water. And then they said, now we need 3 smooth stones. And somebody said, oh, I know a good place to get good stones. So they went off and they got stones. And so the water starts to boil, and the rocks are in the bottom. And And one of the travelers says, it's going to be a really, really good soup. Unfortunately, we don't have any carrots. It would be just really, that would just round it out nicely. And one of the persons in the back who's watching this says, oh, I have a couple carrots. And so they run home and they get their carrots. And they bring the carrots and they get added to the stone soup. And then they said, you know what would make it worthy of, richer people would be if we would have some cabbage in here. But there's no need to lamenting about it because we don't have cabbage. And one person says, oh, I have a cabbage. And they ran home and they brought back 3 heads of cabbage. And so it goes on, and people are adding to it. And then finally, it's really a nice soup by now. And then one of the travelers says, you know what would make it worth a king's soup? If we would have some meat in it. But we're just going to have it without meat. And somebody said, oh, no, I have some meat. And so they run home and they bring the meat. And the celery and the milk gets pulled up from the well. And before long, this big pot of delicious soup is cooking. And then the travelers say, you know what would be just brilliant? If you all could get some tables and chairs, and we share this soup right now. And so everyone went home, brought tables and chairs, came together, wine showed up, bread showed up, and they had a feast. And that, beloveds, is the stone soup story. Now, I could share with you what I get out of that story, but I thought we're going to have a little experiment. Are you open to that? Yes? I want to ask you, close your eyes, just feel into that story, and share with the room, what is it that you got out of the story? What does it remind you of? Where do you see it in your life? Now, this is in one sentence, and I will repeat it so everybody can hear it. And online, you can put it into the chat, and we will have the stream team share it with us. So what did you get out of the story? Somebody. Community. Yes, community. And what specifically about community? To give. Sharing of resources? Yes? Now, isn't it amazing to see that all of those resources were there all the time, right? They were already present. And what did it take? It took somebody to bring attention to it. If we come together and share the resource, whatever our resource is, we create more in community than the sum of the ingredients. Can you see that? And I want to give some examples. This poster, this beautiful art, it was not done by me, which people realize, right? Lori Frisbee, our wonderful Reverend Lori, I told her about this, and she said, oh, I can make a poster for that. And so Lori Frisbee brought her energy in it here into the sanctuary. She is on her healing journey. And so she found a way to contribute. And I think that's just fabulous, isn't it? Yes. What else do you see in the story? Abundance. I love that. Abundance. How often are we in a place where we feel, I don't have enough, where we have this lack consciousness? Does that happen to people at times in different areas? It might be a lack of financial resources. It might be a lack of love, of connection, of anything really, right? And when we are focused on lack, on not having enough, of not wanting to share from the overflow, then we come into this constricted place like the villagers were, right? They saw somebody coming and they climbed up, trying to hold on, the white knuckle grip. So, how wonderful would it be if we could be reminded that at all times the abundance of the One is within us and available to us. And I think that is one of the fundamental gifts that a spiritual center like the New Vision Center gives to us. It is a daily reminder for me and for all the beloveds who receive our daily texts, right? It's a daily reminder that right where I am, the divine is. And what we know about the divine is that it is abundant. And so I have access to that abundance. And it is up to me to figure out a way of how can I let go of any limiting beliefs that I have picked up and really steep myself into that abundance and from there give. And be reminded that I cannot outgive the divine. I can't. You cannot outgive the divine. Test it. Try it out sometime. Great. What else? We had abundance, community. Better together. I like it. Better together. We could probably, somebody should take some notes, we can get some good slogans here. Better together, right? Today, when we will gather in our town hall, we are going to come together and talk about how we are better together, how as a community we have created longevity in this beautiful spiritual center, and we are going to place a time capsule into our new peace and meditation garden that's going to be opened in 25 years. 25 years from now, in 2049. Take a moment and just imagine the folks that are going to be sitting either in these chairs or in new chairs, we don't know. 25 years, our children who are now in the youth and family ministry, they might be here and they might think back to how was life back in 2024 when these folks took the time to write messages to a future generation. I just think it's fabulous. Yes, what else? Connection, yes, for sure. Connection and connection of individuals who, I think those three travelers were able to paint a picture, to create a vision of this magical stone soup. Can you almost taste it? So yummy. And so they were able to create a vision, and then the villagers just fell behind and followed that vision. And that is, beloveds, what we are doing here, right? Our vision, and I know if I say, let's say it together, without Stream Team, don't put the slide up. What's our vision? Revealing the power of love. We know that. We know that. And so the travelers were able to create a vision, and they had the villagers follow it. And at the end, what happened? Exactly that. A delicious soup for everyone. For everyone. Yes. I absolutely love how we take our vision and our mission so seriously here. It can be a great idea, but if it doesn't fit to reveal the power of love, we don't do it. We just don't. And if it does fit the power of love, and if it is in alignment with the covenant that Ralph shared earlier, that is focused on creating events for people to get together and share when music is created, or laughter with the upcoming Joke is on You bingo night. So funny. You know, or the communication to include everybody. Because that is what our goal is, that each and every person, if they walk through these doors, if they join us online, if they just drive by on Tatum, or come to a Labyrinth event. We have somebody here, Kathy, with us, who was here because she participated in the Labyrinth event and she felt a calling, and so she's joining us today. So how cool is that? And we see it when we elevate ourselves up. We can see how the love that we practice here ripples out into the world and brings people in for their highest and best. So good. So good. What else? What else did you hear in the story? Curiosity. I love that. I have a note here. I wrote it under intangible assets from this story. Trust, curiosity, and openness. If we take a look at our own lives, when we are opening ourselves up to just be open to the stranger, to a new way of doing things, to something different, and when we lean in with curiosity and trust that we are at all times divinely guided, it brings goodness forth. When you came in here, you were given a Keep Me sheet. And inside that Keep Me sheet is a little piece of paper. And if you don't have one, just raise your hand, and somebody will come by and give you one. And online, you can just put it into the chat. And here's what I want you to do, whoever feels called. I want you to write down, this is what I'm becoming clear on, what is mine to give to the New Vision Center. Throughout this summer, throughout the rest of the year, forever, whatever works for you, just take a moment and become clear on your individual intention. And that may be anything from once a week I put you on my prayer list to this is how I'm going to show up. This is my commitment. Here's what I'm going to do. However that works for you, we're going to take 2 minutes. And if Frank would be so kind to play music throughout the time. And then when you have yours written, just come up and put it into our pot. We're going to build our own NVC stone soup. All right. Invite you to feel into, if you feel like, oh, I have nothing to give. See if you find yourself in that position where the villagers were. Because what I know is that everybody, each and every one of us, has something to give. And as we connect with that givingness, we participate and we benefit from our version of stone soup. How beautiful. And no notice how good it feels to witness this engagement, this participation from people who are here for the very first time, and those who have been here for many years. This intention is so clear. I realize I have something to give, and I gratefully give. And those online, I want to let you know that we are writing down everything that has been shared, and it will go into the stone soup, and we are going to utilize this poster throughout the summer, and we will add to it. How beautiful. Thank you. Oh, it's looking so good. I can't wait to taste it. Look at that. Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take a breath. And my call to action for each one of us is when we come into a place where we feel lack, when we come into a place where we don't feel that connection to the divine within, to take a moment and think back of how you contributed to the stone soup, and that this stone soup will continue to be shared from this place, from our hearts out into the world. A couple of days ago in our morning reading, I came across this wonderful saying here from Dr. Ernest Holmes. He says, with the knowledge, the assurance that the loving presence is always here, right where I am, I realize that it is closer to me than breathing, nearer than hands and feet, and that I have nothing to fear. And he says, knowing this, that I am the very essence of the divine, joy wells up within my heart, and life thinks through me in radiant ecstasy. And I love it. I love it. So I took a picture of our peace and meditation garden, and we have it right there, because what I am realizing is that life sings its song, not just through each and every one of us, but collectively through this community. And I am so grateful you are part of this journey. You are here to lend your voice, to lend your talent, to lend your time, to lend your treasure, to lend your beingness to making New Vision Center all that it can be. Thank you. And so it is. I'm going to put this pot, close it. It needs to stew a little bit. Oh, we have things from the online community. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Yes. Oh, please join me as we anchor all of this truth with a spiritual mind treatment, our form of affirmative prayer. And so we take a moment and recognize that there is only one power, one presence, that the divine is right where I am, it is right where each and every person is, right here in this now moment. And so as I breathe in, I recognize that the qualities of the divine, love, peace, harmony, joy, abundance, are right at the very center of my being. And as I know that this is the truth of myself, I know that this is the truth of every person. Right where you are is holy ground. And so I speak my words on behalf of this beloved community, recognizing the goodness, the love, the joy that is being shared through each and every beloved who has ever set foot into the sanctuary, who has ever dialed in online, or who has been driving by on Tatum Boulevard. The love that is present here and has been cultivated here for the last 35 years is continuing to be added to and cultivated and enjoyed. And I speak a special word to all those beloveds who have turned to our ministry of prayer. How grateful I am to know of the trust and the faith that these beloveds have expressed, and the assurance that every prayer uttered is already answered. And so it is with a grateful heart and so much love that I call this good and very good, that I know that all is working out for the highest and best, that God is, I am, we are. And with so much joy and gratitude, I simply place this word into universal law. I let it be, I let it go. And together we anchor this truth as we say, and so it is.